So I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable with you guys, and I understand that a lot of you guys are not believers, and I appreciate that my friends that I talk to on the regular that are not believers are very respectful of the fact that they are not Christians. So I that was a longer intro than I meant. But last night was youth, as per usual, and it's getting closer to summer, and kids are acting wild, particularly like the middle schoolers. They're just acting really out of pocket. Literally, there's like a lot of chaos, including kids coming to church to smoke their vapes in the bathroom. I had to literally get removed from checking kids in to go handle some of it. And long story short, like the collective leaders were just very drained because of the children's behavior. And even though I was equally frustrated and stuff like that, I had to remind myself that is like being a youth leader is not about your own gratification or you seeing the results of your calling. Now, what I mean by that is you have to be called to be a youth leader because of stuff like this. You're dealing with kids who are suffering with anger, depression. You're going to be dealing with situations like cutting and teen pregnancy, drugs, all of these things that you're going to deal with because this is real life. Hello? Remember what the crap you were doing when you were a freaking teenager? When I was in middle school, I thought I was like the baddest because, oh, well, I'm all of a sudden like, a teenager, and that was glorified to be like teenagers think that they're adults. So I was like thinking I was an adult, like mini adult kind of thing. I was acting an absolute fool. Granted, I was a little bit more sheltered. We didn't have things like vapes or whatever, but I was drinking vodka in a water bottle. It only happened during the summer when my guardian was not around, but still. Pretty much my point is that what children need from all ages, but particularly the teens in your life, they need love and they need understanding, but they also need to be taken seriously. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be some sort of expert of this is how the best way to be a youth leader. This is just my personal observations and my personal way of approaching being a youth leader. Because for me, I have a very difficult time wanting to be the adult in their life because I know it doesn't work because it didn't work for me. And I also have to be in a place where I am allowing myself to be the adult in the life, but in a way that is actually helpful to them in the form of let me bestow some wisdom on you. But when it comes to the kids that aren't ready for direction and stuff like that, it's like dealing with somebody who is having problematic issues and behaviors and stuff like that, like an addict. The addict is kind of like the go-to example for this. It's like the person in your life that doesn't want help, you have to still provide help for. And that's pretty accurate to whether you're doing any sort of leadership, like whether you're a pastor or a youth leader or like just even being like a sponsor in a program. You have to be understanding that even though this person needs help, they may not necessarily want help or be in a space where they're ready to receive the help that you have to offer. And you have to be okay with that and still provide it. And unfortunately, it's just like, I don't know what that's going to look like in a lot of ways, but I understand that ultimately we still have to have the heart of Christ when it comes to approaching these kids, regardless of their behavior. I literally spent the after part of the program just being like, girl, literally the cop is right there, don't start a fight in front of the cop car. Like that's not going to do you any favors, and you're giving this person a lot more attention than you need to be giving them. And it was over petty crap that's not even going to matter in the next year, but here we are. But all to say is that being in youth ministry is not about you getting the gold star. It's not. It's very messy. It's not glamorous. It's not supposed to be. You're supposed to be covered in mud, and you're supposed to, like, it's supposed to be rough. You're literally fighting for these kids' souls. And so sometimes you have to put away your ego. You have to put away your need for respect. You have to put away your need to feel like an adult in order to reach these kids. Because the more that you try to be the adult in their life instead of being the human to human that you're supposed to be, they're not going to listen to that. They are too... They have that... I don't even know how to explain it. Give me a second. They want to be taken seriously. They want to feel like adults. They want to feel like they have armor on. And instead of trying to, like, destroy this armor that they have, show them that you don't need the heart of stone, that you need that heart of flesh, because that is going to beat a lot harder than that heart of stone. And even then, it's just like, you don't need to shield yourself from the world, but you need a community that has a border that's stronger than any fort that you could build out of twigs, but you can have a fort that is built out of stone within community. You're supposed to be teaching these kids the love of Christ and what that looks like and how that love is going to transform their lives. There's girls in my group. There was a girl who asked a question of, how do I talk to my parents about essentially coming out of the closet for them? And the fact that I was able to use scripture to give her the fact that I was able to use scripture to give her confidence about being honest with them, but understanding that that doesn't negate her from her relationship from God, I don't know if that gave her any sort of comfort, and I have to hope to God that it did. Because I'm so sick and tired of people being scared to approach God because of one thing in their life. In youth ministry, if your heart is not breaking at some point, you're doing it wrong. I'm so convinced of that. Ministry is not meant to be easy, no matter what form of ministry you're in. Because even in first impressions, I've actually been put at just the right spot just to be able to minister to people in ways that I never expected to. And this is literally my job, is literally, here's what the church has to offer, here's the amenities, here's your notes, come see me, I'll give you a free t-shirt and stuff. And there I've been bringing people to, like, introducing them to the CR program. I've been there literally grabbing my leader to go pray for them because they need it. And if you think that it's hindered because of the way that I look and I dress on the regular when I leave the house, you know, in my spooky attire and stuff, I don't do it at home because it's a lot of work for nothing. But I'm losing my trail of thought. The youth ministry is a very difficult ministry. And again, it's either you're gonna nut up or shut up with it, because you're literally fighting for these kids' souls. And they're also fighting you while you're trying to not redeem them because you're capable of doing that, but bringing them to the one who can. Bringing them to the one where they can have joy and peace no matter what storm they're facing, no matter what demon they have attached to them. That this is what it's about, guys. This is what it's about. If you're experiencing resistance, that means you're actually getting to that root cause. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Fight for their lives as well as yours, because no one else is advocating for them.